Hello, I'm Brandon Martini, a commercial pilot and flight instructor.
And I'm Carson Vasquez. I'm a private pilot.
And you're listening to the Aviation Mentors podcast sponsored by Stratus Financial.
So buckle up because the Aviation Mentors are taking off. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Aviation Mentors. We're here live from Sun and Fun. Unfortunately, Brandon had to leave early, but I get to be here for the rest of the week. And I was out rocking around the Warbird country, and I saw one of the most iconic and beautiful airplanes that I have ever seen, and it is going to be A-10 Warthog. It's a classic airplane. Everyone knows it. And I have today here one of the pilots, Jake. And Jake, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's going on, man? I'm glad to hear you say that about our plane here. It's a beautiful aircraft. But, my path to wings, flying the A-10. Grew up always wanting to fly the A-10. I had a poster of it in my room growing up. It was always something I've wanted to do. Graduated high school, went to the Air Force Academy. That's where I got my pilot slot, and then went to pilot training from there at Columbus, Mississippi for a year. And then I was fortunate enough to get the A-10 out of pilot training, and I've been flying it for about a year and a half now. I have approximately 150 hours in it. Started out with no flight time whatsoever to flight school, so I went from 0 to hero in a year.
Awesome. And what was that like going through flight school? How was that? I mean, I've only seen the civilian flight school, and I got my private. So what's it like going through military flight school?
It's a pretty rigorous program. It's not easy. It is achievable. Someone like me, who had no hours, I definitely struggled. Air sickness was a big thing for me, so I was getting sick just about every flight for the first 20 or so flights, throwing up. Had to go to the spinny chair and get it kicked out of me. After that, I haven't gotten sick yet, knock on wood. But it's tough. You got to be in the books constantly. You're studying on the weekends. You got to save a little time for yourself on Sunday. But you'll finish with flight school about 100 to 150 hours. When I went through, your first 6 months are in the T6 Texan 2. And then from there, they'll either split you into the T-38 or the T-1, and depending on what track you're going to fly into.
And were you able to pick the plane that you got to fly?
Heavy aircraft for the T-1, and then the fighter-bomber route for the T-38. You do to a degree. So, every flight is graded in pilot training, and at the end, you're racked and stacked in your class. So I was in a class of 10 to 12 people, and the number one guy will get his first pick, and it'll just work on down the list. And the Air Force will come to each pilot training class with X amount of planes, and they pretty much say you have, these 10 aircraft to choose from. So there might be 2 to 3 F-16s, an F-22, an F-35, one A-10. It varies for each class that comes through. And out of those classes, number one will put his preference, and it'll work down the list. So fortunately enough, I was a middle of the pack student, and A-10 was number one for me. And I got it. No one else wanted it.
It's a dream come true, a childhood dream come true.
It is.
And talk about chasing that dream and finally get to go and do it. That's incredible. So, beautiful airplane. What can you tell us about it? Walk us through everything. Obviously, a lot of people know what it is, but not a lot of people know what it can do. So, everything from, max weight to fuel capacity and the weapons on board.
Yep. So max weight in the air is about 51,000 pounds, and on a ramp we're looking at 48,000 pounds. Our normal weight we use for planning is just over 30,000 pounds, holds 10,500 pounds of fuel. We usually cruise around 250 knots, climb at 200. Approach speed is approximately 140 based on your fuel weight. We can carry a plethora of weapons, anywhere from the standard 500-pound bombs up to the 2,000 pounders, and then we'll carry the AGM-65 Maverick, air-to-ground missiles, laser-guided rockets, just about, the AIM-9s on the wing for self-defense. Carry it all. Rugged landing gear, it can land on austere fields, so interstate highways, dirt, gravel roads. It's meant to, be adaptable to the environment. It has incredibly redundant systems, so it has 2 hydraulic systems, so if one fails, the other one can pick up all the control surfaces and still run on that. Even the gun can run at a half-rate operation on one hydraulic system and still fire.
Well, that must make maintenance a dream for them.
Engines, cool fun fact about them are they are interchangeable on either side. So the left engine can be put on the right side or the right on the left. It is, but I'm sure they have their hands full. It's an old aircraft. This one was built in 1982. Most
Yeah,
of
I'm
our
sure they
fleet
are. And about how
is
many
made in
are left?
late 70s,
leasing
early
airplanes?
80s, so they're old planes, and we're fighting to keep them alive and keep the swapping parts in and out of them. I think in the Air Force inventory,
And
we're
what else
sitting
are
at
you guys flying
approximately
out of there?
280 total. We're out of Moody Air Force Base in Valdosta, Georgia,
Okay.
and there we have, give or take, about 50 jets there. They have C-130s there and the HH-60s. Those are the three types of aircraft they have at Moody, and then those other two aircraft help with our mission set. So we are a close air support aircraft, and that is our primary role to help the guy on the ground. But outside of that mission, we also do combat
That's
search and
incredible.
rescue.
And I know you've
so
only been doing
there's a
it
down
flight
pilot.
for about a year and
We're
a
going
half.
to
You
help
said.
find them with
So
the
aside from
HH-60s
being deployed to Sun
and
Fun,
the
have you
C-130s
been deployed
at Moody
anywhere
as
else?
well.
It sure is, with all talking to everybody and talking to us with Aviation Mentors too. But
No,
I really
I
appreciate
have
you talking
not,
with us
but
today.
this is a
And
great
what else
first
are you
deployment, if
planning
you
on
want to
doing?
call it
So are
that.
you planning on staying and flying this one for as long as you can, and then what?
That's the intent. I'm new, like you said, and I have about 2 years left at Moody flying this, and then after that, I'll be looking at going to a new location. And my intent is to stay with the aircraft as long as possible. It's going to be tough with them trying to get rid of the A-10, and the future is a little uncertain right now, but their chances are still high that it could stick around, or my next assignment could be with the A-10. Our two other active duty bases are in Osan, Korea, and then Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona. So those are my two primary options after here, but
And
the Air Force
we talk a
sends
lot
people
with
where they
student
need them,
pilots
so
that
we
are
could
interested
find
in
ourselves back
becoming
teaching
airline
at pilot
pilot.
training,
We haven't talked so much
teaching
about
the next
becoming
generation
military
of
pilot
A-10
of
pilots
any sort.
or in
So
a different
what
airframe as well.
what does that career path look like as far as switching airframes, like you said? Is that a possibility?
It's definitely a possibility to become a military pilot for sure. I know a lot of guys that I've gone through pilot training with, they had civilian flight time and they were airline pilots, regional pilots, and, wanted to work for the military as well. So, you need a college degree and then a commission as well. So there's a few different routes you can take to get that. If, you're out of high school, you could go to the Air Force Academy, or you could do ROTC at a college, or even pretty much
That's
come up to a
incredible.
guard
And
unit.
thank you for
They
talking
can
with us
put you
today. I
through
really
flight training.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it was a
And
blast.
everyone else,
So
thank you for
there's
joining
a few
us with
different
the
paths
Aviation
you can
Mentors
take,
today.
and we all end
And
up
we'll
in the
come at you
same
live
place.
again today with another
Everyone's
episode
at
from
level
day
footing
4
when
of
pilot
Sun and
training
Fun.
starts. Cool.
Thanks, guys. Take
Thank
care.
you. See ya.
As always, if you want to reach out to either one of us, you can reach us at Twitter or Instagram. You can reach me at Mr. Martini Guy, or you can reach Carson at Carson_AV17. And of course, as we prefer, reach us on our email, Brandon@aviationmentors.com or Carson@aviationmentors.com.
And as a wrap up for the day, remember, we're here to guide you in your aviation journey. So fly safe and enjoy the ride.